It's a fire hazard. It's not legal. It won't save you any money. Your landlord will never approve it. It'll break in a year. These are the 5 things people say when you tell them you're thinking about plug-in solar.
And today, we are going to take each one apart, one by one.
We're not going to dismiss these concerns. Some of them have a kernel of truth. But the full picture is very different from the myth. By the end of this episode, you'll know exactly what's true, what's false, and what's more complicated than a simple yes or no.
Let's bust some myths.
Welcome to Plug-in Solar Explained. I'm Lisa.
And I'm Mike from PluginSolarUS.com. This is the simple way to understand plug-in solar, home energy, and the policies shaping America's next consumer energy movement.
Today, we're tackling the 5 most common myths about plug-in solar. The ones that keep people from even exploring a technology that could genuinely lower their electricity bills and give them more control over their energy. Myth number 1. Plug-in solar is a fire hazard.
This one has a kernel of truth, which is what makes it worth taking seriously. The concern is real. It's called breaker masking. Here's how it works. Your home circuit breaker is designed to trip, to shut off, when a circuit is overloaded. That's the safety mechanism. But when you plug a solar system into a shared circuit, it's pushing power onto that circuit at the same time other devices are drawing power from it. The breaker sees the net load, the difference between what's being drawn and what's being added, rather than the true total load on the wires.
So the breaker might not trip even when the wires are actually overloaded.
Exactly. The wires could be carrying more current than they're rated for, but the breaker doesn't see it because the solar backfeed is masking the overload. Over time, that can cause the wires to overheat. That is a real fire risk. It is not a myth.
So the myth is that it's inherently a fire hazard, not that the risk doesn't exist at all.
Correct. The risk exists if you do it wrong. If you plug a 1,200-watt system into a shared circuit with other appliances, you have created a genuine hazard. But the solution is simple and well established. Use a dedicated circuit. A circuit where the solar system is the only thing connected. On a dedicated circuit, there is nothing to mask. The breaker sees exactly what's on the wire. The risk disappears entirely. Myth busted. With an important asterisk.
Myth number 2. Plug-in solar is illegal.
This one was more accurate 2 years ago than it is today. The legal landscape has changed dramatically. As of 2026, 8 U.S. states have passed explicit plug-in solar legislation. Colorado, Virginia, Maryland, Maine, Utah, New Hampshire, Connecticut, and Hawaii. These laws explicitly define plug-in solar as a legal consumer appliance and set the rules for how it can be used. In those states, it is unambiguously legal.
What about the other 42 states?
In states without a specific law, the situation is more nuanced. It's not explicitly illegal in most of them, it's more of a gray area. The National Electrical Code governs electrical safety, and as long as you're complying with the code, dedicated circuit, certified equipment, you're generally on solid ground. But you should consult a licensed electrician to confirm your specific setup meets local requirements.
And the anti-Icelanding concern, the idea that your system could keep feeding power to the grid during an outage and electrocute a utility worker?
That concern is addressed by the microinverter itself. Every UL 1741 certified microinverter includes automatic anti-Icelanding protection. The moment the grid goes down, the inverter detects the loss of grid signal and shuts off within milliseconds. It cannot keep running. This is not optional. It's a required feature of any certified inverter. Myth busted.
Myth number 3. It doesn't actually save you any money.
This one is usually said by someone who bought a cheap system, plugged it into a shared circuit without a battery, and then noticed their bill barely moved. And in that scenario, they might be right. But the problem isn't the technology, it's the setup.
What's the key variable they're missing?
Self-consumption. If your panels are generating power while you're at work and nobody's home, that power flows backward through your meter to the grid. And unless you have a net metering agreement, which plug-in systems almost never have, the utility keeps it. You generated free electricity and gave it away. A system without a battery in an empty house during the day has a very low self-consumption rate. And a very low self-consumption rate means very low savings.
So the battery is what makes the savings real.
The battery is what captures the value. It stores the daytime solar production and releases it in the evening when you're home and when electricity is most expensive. In states with time of use pricing, California, Connecticut, Massachusetts, evening peak rates can be 40 to 60 cents per kilowatt hour. A battery that lets you avoid buying electricity at those rates is worth significantly more than a battery in a flat rate state. In a high rate state, with a properly sized battery and a good TOU schedule, the payback period can be as short as 3 to 4 years. Myth busted.
Myth number 4. Renters can't use this because landlords will never approve it.
It is true that renters need landlord approval, but the idea that landlords will automatically say no is outdated. Think about what landlords hate about traditional solar. It involves drilling holes in their roof. It takes months to install. It requires utility interconnection agreements, and it permanently alters the property. They take on liability, and they don't even benefit from it.
And plug-in solar is completely different.
Completely different. A UL 3700 certified system is tested by the same organization that certifies your toaster. It clamps to a balcony railing without drilling. It doesn't permanently alter the property. It doesn't require a utility agreement. And when the tenant leaves, it goes with them. When landlords understand that it's a certified, temporary appliance that requires no structural modifications and no utility paperwork, the conversation changes completely. It's not a guaranteed yes, but it's absolutely a conversation worth having. Myth busted.
Myth number 5. These are cheap gadgets that will break after a year and end up in a landfill.
If you buy the cheapest unbranded kit off an overseas marketplace with no certifications and no warranty, maybe. But legitimate plug-in solar systems from reputable manufacturers use quality solar panels and the same microinverter technology found in premium rooftop installations.
What do the warranties actually look like?
It depends on the panel type. If the system uses traditional rigid monocrystalline panels, the kind you'd see on a rooftop, you can expect a 20 to 25-year performance warranty. If it uses foldable or flexible panels, which are popular in portable kits because they're lighter and easier to move, the warranty is typically 5 to 10 years. The microinverter is consistently 10 years across most brands. None of these are disposable gadgets when you buy from a reputable manufacturer. The cheap stuff will break. The certified stuff will last. Myth busted.
Mike, I want to zoom out for a second, because one of the things I hear from skeptics is, if this is so safe and so effective, why isn't it already everywhere in the US?
That's actually a really important question, and the answer is regulatory, not technological. Germany has had plug-in solar, they call them Balkonkraftwerke, or balcony power plants, since around 2019, when the German parliament streamlined the rules to allow people to use them without utility permission. Today, roughly 1 in 10 German households uses a plug-in solar system. That's millions of installations, operating safely every day.
So the technology is proven. It's not experimental?
It is absolutely proven. The reason it took so long in the US is that our utility interconnection rules were written decades ago for large rooftop systems, and nobody ever carved out an exception for small portable devices. The states that have passed plug-in solar laws in 2025 and 2026 are essentially doing what Germany did in 2019. They're updating the rules to reflect the reality of the technology.
And the safety record in Germany supports the case.
Strongly. There have been over 1 million installations in Germany, and the safety record is excellent. That doesn't mean you can ignore the rules. You still need a certified system and a proper electrical setup. But the argument that this technology is inherently dangerous is contradicted by millions of real-world installations in a country with very high safety standards. The myths are losing ground to the evidence.
Let's wrap this up. What's the bottom line?
1. Plug-in solar is safe when installed correctly. The fire risk is real, but entirely preventable. Use a dedicated circuit for systems over 391 watts and buy UL-certified equipment. 2, it is explicitly legal in a growing number of U.S. states, with 8 states having passed laws as of 2026 and more on the way. 3, the financial return is real and significant, especially if you leverage battery storage to avoid expensive peak time of use rates. 4, don't let outdated information from 5 years ago stop you from exploring a technology that is ready today.
To read the full breakdown of all 5 myths, complete with the engineering and legal citations, head to pluginsolarus.com.
Thanks for listening to Plug-in Solar Explained, the simple way to understand plug-in solar, home energy, and the policies shaping America's next consumer energy movement. Plug-in Solar US is an educational resource. Rules, codes, utility requirements, and product certifications can change, so always check current local requirements and use properly certified products.